But I wanted to talk about what was promoted and then how that was presented, because last week, Trick Williams was in the ring with Cody Rhodes, looking 5 inches taller because of those damn good-looking white boots. And Cody says, I got the okay to say this from Ava, the GM. There will be a 25-man battle royal next week to determine the next number one contender for your title, Trick, and the NXT Championship. And he said it'll be more than one locker room or multiple locker rooms or whatever he said. So obviously with everything going on with TNA, easy to jump to the conclusion. I even mentioned, though, last week that could also mean Raw and SmackDown talent come down and are part of the battle royal. And that happened. Angel was in it and Apollo Crews was in it, but not much. People you could easily eliminate just to kind of fill out the battle royal. But the NXT social media teased Frankie Kazarian and showed him talking to Shawn Michaels. I said, okay, that's a fine tease. That's a TNA. I don't want to say TNA lifer because he worked Ring of Honor and he worked New Japan and he was in AEW, but certainly somebody who I think if you asked about Frankie Kazarian's career, he'd be most closely connected to TNA, and he's calling himself the king of TNA, and that's fine. So he's in it. All right. I was like, okay, that's one. And then the ring is filled, and Joe Hendry gets to make his full entrance. He gets to cut a promo. There he is. They said his name so many times that he did indeed appear, and that, by the way, is not a graphic. I mean, it's a picture, obviously, but that is exactly how Hendry came out. He found the camera shot. He looked right down the barrel of that camera, and it looked good. And he cut his promo as he does, and he talks about, because he's full of bravado. If you had not seen Joe Hendry in action or his shtick or his gimmick before last night, that's kind of what he is. He's like this pop star sensation. He's done parody songs for the longest time, going back even before TNA days when he was in ICW in Scotland, and when he was in What Culture Pro Wrestling, and this was his thing. And TNA's had him for a couple of years, and he's been feuding with various people, and he's doing stuff with AJ Francis, but he makes parody songs, and they're very funny. There's a great one with Drew McIntyre. I told you guys to look that up the other day. So he comes out, and he cuts his promo, and there's 24 since, Cody Rhodes said there'd be 25 men in this Battle Royal last week, and I'm telling you there's 24 wrestlers and one sensation, and that's me, and I'm going to win the title and take it back to TNA. And it was full of bravado, and he's smiling, and, that's Joe. Joe is a promo first. So he gets in the ring, and right after he talks, Ethan Page comes out, and he gets the big final entrance, because they're not going to show entrances for everybody. They put Kazarian's thing up there on social media that he came out. But after Ethan Page comes out, you realize TNA represented by Joe Hendry and Frankie Kazarian and absolutely nobody else. So, sure, the most popular guy being Joe Hendry covers up for that a bit, but the fact that it was nobody else in that Battle Royal, not exactly strongly sell a 25 man. It wasn't a 10 man it was 25. You couldn't get 5 TNA guys in that Battle Royal? John Evans won it. What were they really going to do? You couldn't have put 5 TNA guys in there to get eliminated late? Kazarian lasted late. Now, Joe Hendry gets in there, and there was the end of it. But Joe Hendry got in there and got eliminated immediately. And by Kazarian, which I guess will leak back into, them feuding in TNA more. But you got this big baby face pop and entrance and all that, and I realize he's full of himself, so there's a little bit of a heel in Joe Hendry in that way. But then they dump him. They immediately dump him. And he comes back to the curtain, they put it on social media, and he's yelling at Shawn Michaels, "Oh, did you tell all of them to do that? And I could show up anywhere I want." And he walks away, and Shawn Michaels goes, "I believe." And they showed him later on, with Wesley and the North American title and all that stuff, and him getting another title shot. But part of me was like, okay, because he got the big entrance and a promo, and the other one to get a promo, and then he got eliminated as fast as he did, it was still putting a lot of spotlight on him. I just wonder, for those who hadn't seen him before, how does that alter the perception? Do you go, this guy's a loser, he's just a comedy act? Or does it put enough spotlight on him that you'll want to see him again? He got a call and response from fans that aren't of TNA. He got a call. He did his stuff, and they knew it. which is very telling. I don't think you give Joe Hendry an entrance and a promo and a little thing with Shawn Michaels and say that's it. That'd be my guess. I also believe that if he was not in that Battle Royal, and you did have 10 other TNA guys, people would have been pissed off because he is that over and his stuff is engaging. And he took a billboard out outside of the Hydro in Scotland over the weekend just so his face would show up. Like, he gets it. He gets how to promote himself. No one's going to talk about these unbelievable Joe Hendry matches, which is fine. What's up, Captain Wiener? How are you this morning? Way to come in hot. But I think there's more to Joe Hendry. It's also a matter of how much does this relationship need Joe Hendry. We'll talk more about that coming up. So Ethan Page has the face-off of Joe Hendry, and then Joe Hendry gets eliminated, and then Oro Mensah comes out, who's not in the Battle Royal, and him and Ethan go through the ropes, and that's it. Ethan's done. Javon Evans gets rid of Spears to win, so he gets some retribution for Spears beating him last week in the main event. Later on, Ethan Page complains to Ava that Mensah has now attacked him 4 times, should be kicked out of the company, and blah, 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 and I never got eliminated, which is true. Then Evans is there, and let's do it again. Okay, we do it again. So the main event becomes Ethan Page against Javon Evans. Javon Evans is already the number 1 contender because he won the Battle Royal, and Trick's out on commentary, and Ethan Page beats him. And then Ethan comes out and is jaw-jacking with Trick, and then Spears is back out because he's mad about what happened in the Battle Royal, but also that he beat Evans last week, so he's beating him up, and Trick goes in the save, and then Page goes in, and then it's all 4 of them, and the title is like in a weird spot, and Javon Evans like gets it into the middle of the ring because they clearly had rehearsed this overhead shot of each of them in a corner down because they had all beat each other up with the title in the middle because it's, that's cinema, guys. No, it's just forced symbolism. They put they took that very forced shot of the 4 of them. So I'm going to guess that we get Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Shawn Spears, and Trick Williams in a 4-way for the NXT Championship at Heatwave. Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody under the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette. And I cut
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partner. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.